You just closed a trade. You followed your rules perfectly. Entry at support, exactly where your system said to enter. Stop loss placement textbook. Risk management dialed in at 1% of your account. Position size calculated, double checked. The trade moved in your direction for 20 minutes, and you felt that familiar rush, that brief moment where you thought, this is it, this is the one. Then the price reversed, slowly at first, then faster. You watched your unrealized profit shrink, turn to break even, then slide into the red. Your stop got hit. Another loss. You did everything right, and you still lost. Now you're sitting there staring at your trading journal, and a question burns in your mind like acid. Am I even getting better? Or am I just fooling myself? Because this is the third trade this week that you executed perfectly and still lost. 3 perfect entries, 3 perfect stop placements, 3 red marks in your journal. You open your spreadsheet and the numbers stare back at you, cold and unforgiving. Red, 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 small green, red, red. Your account is down 8% this month, despite following every rule you've written down. Your chest feels tight. You scroll through Discord and see someone posting a $400 winner. Another trader sharing a clean breakout trade that ran perfectly. Everyone else seems to be figuring it out while you're drowning in losses that feel personal, like the market is specifically targeting you. That sick feeling creeps in, the one you felt a dozen times before. I've been doing this for 8 months. I should be consistent by now. Something must be wrong with me, with my strategy, with my ability to read price action. Maybe you're one of those people who just can't trade. Maybe all the hours studying charts, all the back testing, all the journal entries were a waste of time. The doubt spreads like ink in water, staining everything. Here's the question that haunts every developing trader. How do you know if you're actually progressing, or if you're stuck in an endless loop of mediocrity pretending to improve? How do you distinguish between normal variance and fundamental failure? Because right now, it feels exactly like failure. Your account is down, your confidence is shot, and you can't tell if you're 1 month away from breakthrough or 1 month away from blowing up. But here's what most traders don't realize. That feeling of being lost, of questioning everything, of not knowing if you're improving, that's not evidence you're failing. It's evidence you're in one of the 3 brutal stages every profitable trader must survive. Your brain evolved to learn through immediate feedback. Touch fire, feel pain, never touch fire again. Practice throwing a spear, see it hit or miss the target, adjust your grip, and try again. For 200,000 years, skill development meant visible, immediate feedback. You got better at something, and you knew you got better because you could see it happening right in front of you. The fruit you gathered, the animal you hunted, the shelter you built. Cause and effect were directly connected. Your actions produced results you could measure instantly. But trading completely breaks this feedback system. You can execute perfectly and lose. You can execute terribly and win. Your brain has absolutely no idea how to process this, so it does what it's programmed to do. It looks for patterns in noise and draws conclusions from statistically meaningless sample sizes. Here's what's really happening. Researchers at Duke University studied how traders develop pattern recognition, and what they found is disturbing. It takes an average of 487 trades before a trader's win rate stabilizes enough to know if their edge is real. 487 trades. If you're taking 1 trade per day, that's over a year and a half of operating in complete statistical darkness. But your brain doesn't wait that long. Your brain starts making judgments about your strategy after about 20 trades. 20 versus 487. You're only 4% through the sample size you actually need, and your brain is already screaming, "This doesn't work. Abandon ship. Try something else." This is why traders abandon profitable strategies right before they would have started working. Let's call him David. He tested a mean reversion strategy, backtested it thoroughly, knew the statistics by heart, 58% win rate, 1-to-1 risk reward. He started live trading, lost 7 of his first 10 trades. His brain told him the strategy was broken. It felt like failure. It felt like he'd wasted months backtesting something that didn't translate to live markets. He quit and moved to breakout trading. What he didn't know, what he couldn't have known with only 10 trades, was that those results were completely normal variance for a 58% system. If he'd taken the next 100 trades, he would have ended up at 57%, almost exactly what the backtest predicted. What feels right is changing strategies when losses pile up. What actually works is trusting sample size over feelings. This is where most traders make the fatal mistake. They interpret normal variance as strategic failure and abandon their edge right before statistics would prove them right. Here's what happens when you don't understand this progression. Month 1, you trade strategy A. You lose. You switch to strategy B. Month 2, strategy B loses. You switch to strategy C. Month 3, strategy C loses. You switch back to strategy A, but now with improvements you found on YouTube. What you don't see is the invisible cost accumulating beneath the surface. Strategy A would have worked if you'd given it 6 months. Strategy B would have worked if you'd given it 6 months. Strategy C would have worked if you'd given it 6 months. Instead, you've given each strategy 4 to 6 weeks, which is statistically meaningless. You're not learning 3 strategies. You're failing to learn any strategy. You're resetting your progress to 0 every 8 weeks and wondering why you're not advancing. Let me show you the brutal math on this. Strategy testing requires 200 to 300 trades minimum to know your true edge. At 1 trade per day, that's roughly 1 year of consistent execution. If you switch strategies every 2 months because of normal variance, you'll cycle through 6 different approaches in a year. After 12 months, you'll have 50 to 60 trades per strategy. Still not enough data. You still don't know what works. Meanwhile, the trader who picked any reasonable strategy and stuck with it has 250 trades logged. They actually know their win rate, their maximum drawdown, their psychological limits. They've built muscle memory. You're still guessing. Prop firms track this obsessively, and the data is damning. When they analyze traders who failed challenges, 68% failed not because of bad strategies, but because they abandoned their strategies mid-challenge. They'd have 15 trades with their breakout system, hit a normal losing streak, panic, and switch to scalping, lose more, switch to supply and demand trading, run out of time, and fail. Meanwhile, 73% of traders who passed challenges used only 1 strategy for the entire evaluation period. 1 strategy, complete statistical sample. Proven edge. This is where it gets ugly. Strategy switching creates a psychological death spiral. Each switch resets your confidence to 0. Each loss in a new strategy feels catastrophic because you don't know if it's normal variance or fundamental failure. You become allergic to losses. You start trading smaller, trying to protect yourself. Then you overtrade to make back what you lost. Your emotions swing wider. Your decision-making deteriorates. But there's a way out, and it starts with understanding the 3 stages. Every profitable trader survives 3 brutal stages, and you're in 1 right now. Stage 1 is the skill void. This is months 1 through 6. You're learning the mechanics, drowning in information, and you don't know what you don't know. Losses feel random because they are random. You haven't developed pattern recognition yet. This stage is pure education. You're paying tuition in the form of small, controlled losses. Expected outcome, account drawdown, but knowledge accumulation. If you're here, you need education, not bigger position sizes. Risk 0.5% maximum. Your only goal is to complete 200 trades with perfect rule adherence. Focus on process, not profit. Stage 2 is the variance war. This is months 6 through 18, and this is where most traders quit. You have a strategy. You execute it correctly, and you still lose, sometimes for weeks at a time. This is the 487 trade waiting period we talked about earlier. You're doing everything right, but variance hasn't revealed your edge yet. Expected outcome, break even to slight profit, but emotional torture. If you're here, you need patience, not a new strategy. Lock in your approach. No changes for 300 trades minimum. Track your statistics weekly and accept that 40% of those trades will lose. Your goal is emotional desensitization to normal variance, not immediate profitability. Stage 3 is the confidence build. This is month 18 and beyond. Your statistics finally stabilize. You've seen your strategy work across trending markets, choppy markets, high volatility, low volatility. You trust it because you've watched it prove itself across hundreds of executions. Expected outcome, consistent profitability. If you're here, gradually increase position size as statistical confidence grows. Scale your edge without destroying your psychology. But what if your strategy actually doesn't work? Here's how you know. If you've taken 300 trades, journaled honestly, and your win rate is below 40% with 1-to-1 risk, reward, then switch, not before. Sample size matters more than feelings. The traders who survive don't have better strategies than the ones who quit. They simply execute any reasonable strategy long enough for probability to prove itself. The market doesn't reward the trader with the best setup or the sharpest entry. It rewards the trader who can stay in the game long enough for their edge to compound. That's not luck. That's survival. That's discipline.